What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. I am so happy that you decided to join me today. We are over in Willowcreek and I am building a family home that is furnished for 4 Sims and 2 cats. This is actually kind of a craftsman style family home. I was looking at an inspiration picture and it isn't necessarily a craftsman style home, but at the end of this build, by the time I was done, I was looking at it, I'm like, this is totally like a craftsman style home, or at least it looks like it. It almost gives craftsman style vibes. I don't know if it's the half brick, half concrete pillars in the front, or the black roof, or the way that the roof is. I am not sure what it is, but it is definitely giving craftsman style vibes to me, and I absolutely love craftsman style homes. They're one of my favorite homes to build in The Sims, and also in real life. I think they are just super cute. And yeah, so before we get any deeper into today's build, I would like to take a brief second to invite you guys to leave a like on this video if you do find it enjoyable, and also subscribe if you have not already. It definitely helps my channel out and helps the algorithm kick this video to other simmers. Also, I love to hear from you guys down in the comments below, so feel free to leave any comment you would like, whether it's what you love about the build, what your favorite part about the build, or maybe what you would like to see different about the build next time. Whatever it is you feel like you would like to leave a comment on, definitely feel free to leave it down below. I absolutely love to read all of your comments. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get back into today's build. So we pretty much have the shape of the exterior completely done. I do end up changing the paint on the exterior walls from green to more of like a yellow, like a pale yellow with the brick at the bottom. I absolutely love the exterior wallpaper, or paneling slash brick, I guess. Not necessarily wallpaper, but I think that's what they call all of the wall swatches and different textures in The Sims. Isn't it all called wallpaper? I don't know, that's what I call it anyways. But the exterior walls, I absolutely love the half brick, half paneling combination. I think that is such a cute design and it gives it a lot of detail. It is honestly, in my opinion, better than just straight brick or just straight paneling. Sometimes if it's a 2-story house, I will just add a complete brick layer on the bottom level, and then the top level I will do just paneling, so it gives off the same vibe that wallpaper is giving. But there's something about having the bottom level half brick, half paneling that is just super satisfying to me, and I don't really know why it's satisfying, but it is. I think it is such a pretty wallpaper, and it's just, I don't know, I like it. I hope you guys like it too. Let me know down below if you do like this wallpaper like I do, or if you're one of those people that think it's just meh, which is totally fine too. I think this wallpaper, you either love it or you hate it. And I happen to be one of the ones that actually love it. It is definitely a traditional suburban type of exterior wall design, which I love a good suburban. If you guys could not tell that already by all of the suburban houses that I build on my channel, that is pretty much the only thing I build. I will do a modern house here and there, but I just find them super hard and not as fun as like a suburban house and like a family suburban house. And there's something about suburban houses that like screams a big happy family to me, and like a bunch of kids and a lot of like family members coming over to have a family reunion or a barbecue in the backyard. And then a modern house just screams like, I go to work every day and the only thing I do is work, and then I come home and chill on the couch and pet my cat and have a glass of wine. I don't know why houses give me different vibes like that, but they definitely do. And trust me, I do love a good modern house in real life and in The Sims. And there's nothing wrong with, you know, taking your career seriously at all. Like, I totally get it. I do the same thing. I don't have any kids. So, That is definitely not me judging whatsoever. That is just me simply observing the different vibes that a modern versus a suburban house gives me. That is all it is. And obviously people with modern houses can have big happy families too. That was me just trying to make a joke, to be honest. Hopefully it wasn't a bad one. But anyways, we are finished completely with the exterior design, and I am finishing up the landscaping for the most part. I do leave the terrain paint until the very end, just in case I do add anything else as I'm furnishing the house. And of course, no big happy family suburban house is complete without a pool in the backyard. So you know me, I always have to add a good pool in my builds. I want one in real life, and that's probably why I feel the need to always add one here in The Sims. It's like me fulfilling a fantasy of mine. That's the good thing about Sims, is that like if you have a fantasy in real life, you could totally, you know, try to satisfy your fantasy needs here in The Sims. Now obviously that doesn't always work, but you could pretend that you're out back lounging in a lounge chair by your pool. You could make your sim self and you could do that, and then you're basically you have a pool at that point, you know? And I also added a garage in this build as well. I am on a garage kick. I always tend to add garages in my builds. I did make it a point over the weekend to build a house without a garage just to see if I could do it, and I was able to do it. I do, for some reason, even if I don't have a garage, I still make a driveway in the front yard, at least for the most part, and add a car. There's something about having those cars in the driveway out in the front yard that just makes the build feel complete to me. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just because I strive for realism, and that is a very realistic thing. And I'm still like hoping and praying and probably trying to manifest that they're gonna add cars in The Sims. And you know what? I have hope, guys. I have hope. I know a lot of you are probably like, Kristen, give it up already. They're not gonna have cars. But you know what? I'm keeping my hopes up. You know, they're not gonna make The Sims 5 anytime soon, apparently, which is a very disappointing thing. I don't even want to talk about it. But that kind of gives room for them to do a lot more here in The Sims 4. And let's be honest, what else are they able to put in an expansion pack at this point? We don't have fairies, and that's like the last thing other than cars that people really were asking for. Let me know if you guys know any other major features that we don't have that you would like to see in the game, or that you see other people ask for other than cars, obviously. Because I'm curious. I really feel now that we're getting fairies, cars is like the last major thing. Oh, and bands. That's another one. And I think I seen a leak that there's some new other pack coming out this year. And I never know. There's so many leaks going on that I'm so late to it every single time that I don't even know what's happening anymore. But yeah, I'm just hoping and praying and, you know, maybe manifesting that we're gonna have cars here in The Sims 4, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to happen at some point. It might happen right before The Sims 5 is released, but it's still gonna happen. Mark my words. But yeah, I love having the cars in the front yard, so I always tend to add them here in my builds. I hope you guys like having the cars out in the front too. I feel like you do. I feel like it's kind of a popular thing, and especially for like family homes and realistic homes and stuff like that. It just adds to the aesthetic, and it gives Sims 2 vibes a little bit too, because I love The Sims 2, and I love the fact that you're able to actually have cars in The Sims 2. That's like the one last thing that The Sims 2 has that The Sims 4 doesn't. And literally, we could have the same exact functionality of the cars from The Sims 2 here in The Sims 4. I feel like that would be so like easy for them to do. Would it be easy for me to do? No, I'm not a game developer. But if you're a game developer, I feel like that would be something kind of simple, just because The Sims 2, if you're not aware, I know I've said this on my channel before, but if you're not aware, if you've never played The Sims 2 by chance, literally all you have to do is have your sim get in the car. Like, they literally sit in the car and shut the door, and then like they physically back up out of the driveway and then drive off, and then they kind of just, you know, disappear into like a rabbit hole sort of thing, but then you have a loading screen and then you're there at your lot and you see your sim then pulling up to the side of the road and they get out of the car and they do their shopping or whatever it is that they're trying to do at the community lot. I feel like they could do that here in The Sims 4 Simple. The only thing I can think of that's putting like a hamper on that physical thing where they actually like have a driveway in their front yard and they can pull out is the fact that a lot of like, especially the base game worlds, they have like a curb, you know, at the end of the lot going into the street. They don't have like an actual driveway that is, you know, slanted, you know, so that curb might be putting a hamper on things. They might have to completely do an overhaul of each of the worlds, or at least the base game worlds, knowing them. That would probably be the easiest thing, to be honest. And that is the only thing I can think of that is putting a hamper on the situation, because that is a lot of work, to be honest. But, you know, if they're really not working on The Sims 5 like they say they are, then they should have plenty of time to do an overhaul of all of the sidewalks and at least the base game worlds, you know, and then all of the future worlds too. But anyways, that is enough about the cars. I tend to go on a little bit of a rant every time I bring up cars. I need to stop even bringing up the cars, to be honest. But anyways, we are furnishing the interior now, and we have the kitchen completely done, and we are working on the living room now. So this is actually kind of a young family that lives here. They have a child and then they have an infant, and they are pretty much done with having kids, they think. They are not planning on having any more. They're pretty content with the family that they have now. And they actually have 2 sons, and the dad that lives here has always wanted a son. He has 2 now, and the mom actually always wanted a son as well. She never really could see herself being like a girl mom, and so she's super excited that she has 2 sons, and they are looking to, you know, do what it takes to not have any more kids. Plus, they kind of are out of bedrooms in this house as well and they're not planning on moving anytime soon. So yeah, they are pretty sure they're done having kids. And one thing to note here, guys, is that I do have the door that's leading to the bathroom downstairs here on the bottom level. This is, you know, the bathroom that all the guests use that come to the house, and also the kids. And I had to put the bathroom door in the garage. Yeah, that's really not ideal, but that's just kind of how the floor plan worked out. And then we have a laundry room directly next to that bathroom. And yeah, I don't love the fact that the bathroom door is in the garage, like at all, but I could not figure out for the life of me how to lay out the living room without moving that door. So, I mean, it's not the best, it's not the ideal situation, but it is what it is. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do, and you don't always like what you have to do, but you gotta do it. And so yeah, that's kind of what happened there. But a little bit about the Sims that live here. So the mom is like super neat. They do have some young kids that live here, but if you were just in the living room and the dining room and stuff, you really wouldn't even think kids lived here, just because the mom is such a neat freak. Like, she makes sure there's not even like a speck out of place. Like, if there's a little dust bunny running around, she is going to vacuum it up quick. Probably faster than you could even see the dust bunny, to be honest. And since she is such a neat freak, they do have 2 cats that live here, and they're pretty neat cats too, if you ask me. A lot of cats kind of are. Like, they clean themselves. The only thing that like cats will do, well, no, cats will tear up your house though. Like, they'll tear up your couch too. And also, like, I don't know about you guys if you have cats, but I do. I have 2. Well, now I have 3 cats, okay? I didn't even tell you guys about this, but there was just a random stray kitten, like about a month and a half ago, that just showed up inside of my garage somehow. He got in my garage and has been there ever since, and I finally was able to take him to the vet. Like, I spent a lot of time trying to get him to trust me, and he finally does. He loves me, and so that's good. And I took him to the vet. We're getting him all fixed up, getting rid of like the fleas and all of that stuff. And he's still having to be quarantined away from my other animals at the moment. But other than the fleas and the typical like, you know, issues that like kittens have, especially like stray kittens, once that's taken care of, then he is going to be able to meet my other animals. And I am going to keep him, and he is now an inside cat. So yeah, I guess I have 3 cats now. But anyways, like I was saying, I don't know about you guys if you have cats, but my cats, they like to kick the litter out of the litter box. So that's kind of a pain, but you know, it is what it is. So this mom that lives here, she's a neat freak, and the cats do that to her too. But she has a covered litter box. See, my cat, he's too fat. He does not like the covered litter box. Trust me, I've tried it. But she has a covered litter box, and she also put the litter box in the garage. And, you know, here in The Sims, cats and dogs, they know how to open doors somehow. I don't know what it is. I wish, you know, they could do that in real life too, to be honest. But I guess it's better that they can't, or else they'll, like, you know, run down the street, and that's not good. But, yeah, so moral of the story is that the litter box is in the garage. I really don't know why I felt the need to include that in the story, but yet here we are. But anyways, other than the mom being like a neat freak, she also is a teacher, and she absolutely loves her job. Like, this is her dream job that she has always wanted since she was a child. Like, she always knew she wanted to be a teacher and teach elementary school age kids. She just absolutely adores kids, and she just finds it like absolutely rewarding to be able to teach kids and help them out. And it's also a big plus because she's able to take summers off with her children, and she absolutely loves that. Like, it works out perfectly. And then the dad of the house, he actually just finished school to become a doctor, and that has been his dream since he was a kid. He has always wanted to be a doctor, and he finally was able to finish school, and now he is looking actively for a job and is super excited to be able to start his new career to help other people. This time while he was going to school, what he did for work was do some like woodworking in here in the garage. This was actually his studio, and he also was a handyman. He's really good with his hands, and so he was able to get some odd jobs here and there and go to different friends' houses or other people that he knows and help them fix up their house in any way that they needed. And he's also like super good at restoring old appliances, like old microwaves, old ovens, that sort of stuff. And so he was able to like find some stuff on the side of the road and actually be able to restore it and sell it for a pretty good price. And so that's what he has been doing during going to school so that he could provide or help provide for his family. And of course, his wife is super supportive, and obviously having odd jobs isn't steady income, and so there was times where he wasn't making any money, so she was able to afford paying for the bills and being able to provide for their kids with just her income. You know, obviously they had hard times, but being able to have her husband go to school for his dream job was well worth it to her. And at the end of the day, all of those struggles are definitely worth it, because now that he's finally done with school, he is about to start working as a doctor, and now them simoleons are going to start rolling in, and they're going to look back like we would do it all over again in a heartbeat, and probably sooner next time. That's the only thing that they would do different. But we are now upstairs, and we are furnishing the parents' bedroom. And the parents' bedroom is really very simple. It's kind of on the smaller side, and so they don't have a lot of room to do a whole bunch of stuff in. I don't have enough room to put a computer desk here in the bedroom or downstairs, but I do have a place in the hallway right in front of the back balcony door, and so that is where I'm able to put the computer. And this is actually a house that I only put one computer in. Oh, the kid has his own computer too, but I feel like that's more than enough to have in their house. I tend to overdo the computers a lot. I tend to do one like in the living room And then upstairs by the railing where the staircase is, I put one there a lot. Then I put one in each bedroom. So I tend to overdo computers a lot. So it was kind of refreshing to have a build have a normal amount of computers and not like 5, you know? So it was definitely a nice change to have a normal amount of computers this time, but here we are. We have already finished the master bedroom and we are working on the master bathroom now, and that's pretty much done too. The master bathroom, it's nothing really special, but I do think it turned out really cute, and I used the curtains from Island Living, and I love those curtains. They're like my favorite curtains in the game. I just don't use them too often because it doesn't necessarily give like suburban house to me. I guess it could like a little bit, but not like these curtains. These curtains really look suburban-y to me. I guess the Island Living curtains look very similar. They just are more tied together. And also I went through a phase of using nothing but the Island Living curtains, so I'm kind of like over them at this time, but I still love them. Like in real life, I would want curtains like that. I think they're just super, super cute. I really love the style of them. I wish that they would add more that have that style, but in different like aesthetics. Like I think it would be super cute to have curtains tied like the Island Living ones, but with like bows instead of the metal looking rod or button that's on there. I think that would be super cute. It would give like a country vibe, and so that would be really, really cute. Perfect for farmhouses. They could also do a type in that style, but have like a cloth that's actually wrapped around it, the same color as the curtain, and I feel like that would give more of a basic suburban look. So yeah, I would love if they added more curtains in that style. Honestly, I would love if they added more curtains in any style. We desperately need more curtains. I always have such a hard time choosing curtains because we have like slim pickings, I feel like. Half of them are like hideous, honestly. But we are over into the child's bedroom now, and I wanted to do something a little bit different with this child's bedroom, and something that I love to do is having like a little area sectioned off and using a platform to raise it up to make it look like a loft bed, but obviously it's not a loft bed because you can't actually use anything under it, but it almost feels like a little secret area where only the kid could go to. I'm pretty sure parents can go up there too. Or the adult sim, should I say. But it just makes it look super, you know, different and fun. And I love to do that if I'm trying to be a little bit different. But a little bit about this child. He just recently aged up from a toddler to a child, so I wanted to give it more of like a younger child feel. And I absolutely never use this bed, especially in this swatch. I'm pretty sure this is from kids' room stuff, and that is like not a void critter. I don't know what they call that in The Sims, but it looks like a transformer. That is what it's giving to me. And so this room is kind of like a transformer theme slash void critter theme, which honestly I had a lot of fun designing because I do not do this type of theme in a kid's room like at all ever. And so yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was very different, and I am always looking for different. I get so tired of doing the same design in all of my kids' rooms, toddlers' rooms, any room in general. I like to switch it up as much as I can. And so yeah, this was really nice for a change of pace. But other than Transformers and Void Critters, he also loves to work on his mental table and also play video games on his computer. So I put both of those in his room, and I also added one of those Void Critter machines where you can actually play with the Void Critters. I always tend to forget to put those in my builds, but I think they're super cute and super useful. The only thing is that they do not build any skill. So I do have a pet peeve about that. I really wish they would have added some sort of skill, or at least some sort of, you know, in parenthood, how they can have different manners and emotional control and different things like that that they can work on and build up. I wish they would have tied one of those things to the void critter machine, but literally all it does is raise the funds need. And so that, I do not like that. And that's half of the reason why I do not include them very often, but the other half is just because I forget about them. I also included some monkey bars in the backyard for the children to build their motor skill up. I always love to add that. That is useful. I call the void critter machine useful. Well, no, it's really not. I just, for lack of better words, I didn't know what else to say. But something that is truly useful are the monkey bars. I include that almost every build that I do that has kids in it. Those monkey bars are a necessity. But we are over into the nursery now, and this is a very typical nursery that I usually do, and I have a green theme going on. I just love green for nurseries. It's literally, you can have a boy or a girl in here, but I was kind of, you know, imagining this family having only boys. And so, yeah, I have a crib, obviously, and a changing table. And then I also added a recliner, or more of like a rocking chair, in here as well. I love to add those in my nurseries. I feel like it's realistic and super cute, and I can just imagine your Sim sitting there while holding the infant in their arms, even though I don't think that's truly something that they can do, but we can imagine. And that is it for furnishing the inside. At the very end, I do end up adding the litter box that I was talking about in the garage, and I also add a cat tree, or kind of a cat tree and a half, upstairs where the computer table is, just because I always forget to add those, and I finally remembered to do it. It was at the last minute, but I remembered, and so that is what counts. And then, yeah, like I said, I do add those next to the computer table. But yeah, so we are now completely done with the inside, other than those two final adjustments that I do in the end. And we are adding some lights out here in front of the house and in back of the house. And I really like to try and remember to add lighting all around the house to have it nice and lit up at night, and your Sim could see all around the house and literally not just by the front door. Sometimes I forget to add lighting around the house and I literally just do it in front of the front door, but you know what? I did not forget to do that this time, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out and how lit up it is at night. I think it's super pretty. And I am now in the backyard putting the finishing touches here, and I do not only have the monkey bars, but I do have a slide for the little toddler too. And it is absolutely adorable to see your toddler go up and down on that slide. I'm pretty sure that the adult has to help the toddler, but it's so cute. I absolutely love that interaction. I wish it built one of the skills. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think it does, but it's still cute and it still helps their fun need, so at least it does something. I also remembered to add a little like water balloon bucket too. I love adding those when I do remember in family builds, because it's something super easy that you can just click on and have your Sims have a water balloon fight. And of course, no family house would be complete without adding some lounge chairs, an umbrella table, and also a grill right by the pool so that they can have those fun pool days, and of course some pool floaties inside of the pool as well. And this is pretty much the house, guys. I am about to start on the terrain paint, and of course those last minute touches for the cats inside. And other than that, we are done. I really hope you enjoyed today's build. Of course, if you did, don't forget to leave a like on this video. It helps the algorithm push this video out to other Simmers. And also subscribe if you have not already. I appreciate each and every one of you guys so much, more than you would ever know. And I always love reading your comments down below. And so yeah, with all of that being said, I will leave you to enjoy the rest of this video on your own, and I hope you have an amazing day or night. I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys!